Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Fabiola, and if you're new here or if you're not and you didn't know this, we're planning a wedding. We got engaged on January 11th of this year, and it's been like almost 10 months since the wedding planning process began. And so I feel like there has been so many changes going on in our lives, like the moving situation, graduating college, and all that stuff. And I feel like I haven't posted as much like wedding planning videos on my YouTube channel, even though I really hoped to like do that. And so today I want to go over a couple of just like wedding planning updates that I haven't told you guys about, and I also want to answer some of your questions that you sent in on YouTube and on Instagram about just the wedding planning progress and questions about that you may have. So let's go ahead and get started. Right now we're on our way to go to a corn maze. So because we have some time to like spare while we are on the road, I wanted to like multitask and film this video for you as well. We also have my fiance Christian. The first wedding planning update is that on April 13 we actually had like the wedding planning budget meeting, and in this meeting we basically just like set a budget for our wedding and just like discussed it via FaceTime with our wedding planner, and she like explained like everything wedding planning and wedding budget related, and she basically just like did a couple of like Excel sheets to just like explain whether we chose a specific venue, how much it would cost, and then the other venue as well, just to have like a better idea. I'm actually gonna be making like a video after the wedding next year about like all things budget related, because I've had a couple of questions like ask me about the budget and that they don't know if they're ready to make a wedding. So when the wedding ends and we just like have everything just like set up, paid everything, then I'm just gonna like open up about that and give you guys my best tips. But for now, all I'm saying is that we're over our wedding budget, and that's not good. On May 6th, we actually had like a meeting with our wedding videographer, and how I went about it, like wedding videographer, I think it was that I just like put on the Instagram search Puerto Rico wedding videographers, stalked their Instagram page, and just like saw a couple of their like videos that they have posted just to see if like their wedding videography aesthetic matched what I wanted, and I see like the quality. We had like a meeting with him, and it was very cool and nice. Like it was like our first wedding vendor meeting, and so I know that like the wedding planner is supposed to take care of those things, but I really just wanted to book my must-have vendors really fast, and my must-have vendors were the wedding planner, the videographer, and the photographer. We just like vibed really well. He was really sweet, he was nice, and he made me feel comfortable, and we just ultimately decided to book the guy. And so then I just like passed along the information to our wedding planner, and then she like take over from there, everything logistics in that. But yeah, and we also filled out like a questionnaire where he basically just like asked us in the questionnaire just like must have shots, what's like the style that we want, and just like things that we really wanted to include in our wedding video. And then on May 13, the same thing happened with the photographer. I really like her photography style is like very bright, and that's something like I told her I really wanted, and like we matched, like it was a good match. And so she also made us fill like a questionnaire, and I just like wrote down all the must-have shots and important photographs that we really want to have and really want her to take. We actually found this photographer because of Nalani's. She took our engagement photos, and so I asked her if she had any photographer recommendations for us in Puerto Rico, and she actually suggested like my first option, but then I like emailed him, and he told me that even though we had like more than a year between when I contacted him to our wedding date, like he was booked for that day, and so he like recommended other people, and so I valued his recommendation, and I just like booked the photographer. So I'm also very excited for her. She's also very nice, and I love her photography, and we vibed so well, and I'm very excited. On May 18, we actually had a wedding styling meeting, which was by far my favorite because in it we met our vendor manager, and we just like chatted a lot in that meeting with my wedding planner, vendor manager, Christian, and I. And then we just like set the colors that we wanted, what type of cake we wanted, and just like everything decoration related, like the type of flowers, all that stuff. And that was like really exciting because it made it like more real, and she like made recommendations based on what I've already told her, and it was like super cool. I cannot wait for that to like turn into a reality. And then on July 30th, we actually went to like a styling meeting, but with Christian and one of his groomsmen, and we actually picked out like his tux for the wedding, and then we also picked out the groomsmen tux and stuff, and it's gonna look so good. And it was like really cool. I was like afraid I wasn't gonna be able to like go because maybe it wasn't like permitted for like the bride to see that, but I was like really strict, and I'm still really strict with like the color palette that I want the wedding to have. And so I just like wanted to be there so I can just like say yes, like this matches what I want and what I like. And then Christian also like had his input, and he ultimately showed what attire he wanted. Do you have anything to say, babe, about everything I said, or just like this?
I was just concentrating on the road.
Yeah.
So I am really glad with the options that like we went through, and the ones that I actually chose. I think they're really cool, and they are colors that Fabiola and I both agree with, which is obviously a plus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look out for those.
Yeah.
For that
Subscribe
later on,
so you don't miss the wedding. Okay, and so something that also happened during August is that we opted out of the live wedding painter option. Like I had seen like a couple of like photos about that on Pinterest and on TikTok, and you can turn the air conditioning. And on TikTok, and I thought it was like a really cool idea and something like physical and like creative that we could have like in our forever home one day. But when we looked at like the prices, it was too expensive.
I mean, it was expensive and definitely over our budget.
Yeah.
So
like we opted out of that and just like refocus our budget on something else. And so that was like a little bit sad, but like sort of a relief that we didn't spend like over 1K on like a painting.
It was
1.5K like on that. August 19, I actually booked my hair and makeup girl, and I actually booked it for myself, for my grandmother, and for my mom. I really want them to be like with me getting ready, and also because like the photographer and videographer are obviously gonna take clips of that, so I just like wanted them all in like my space, and it's just gonna be like super nice and super meaningful to just like get ready with like the people that raised me, like my mom and grandmother. I love them so much, and for them to be like with me getting ready and just like experiencing all of that on my wedding day, it's just priceless. And so yeah, like it's pretty cool because they also haven't gotten their hair and makeup done by a professional like forever ago.
Yeah.
So like I think that they're gonna be like super confident and looking super pretty, and like that's one of the things that I'm most looking forward to, like even something as simple as that, because of how meaningful it's gonna be. And then on September 3rd, we actually booked like a lighting company. There's not really much to say about that, but they basically just put like lights on the dance floor and stuff like that. And then on September 27, we actually booked our music company and like some entertainment. One of Christian's groomsmen is actually part of that musical group, and so because of him, like, we booked the company, and it's gonna be super cool to just like finally hear them, even though like our friend is not gonna be a part of the musical performance, because he's gonna be in the actual wedding. It's gonna be cool to just like have his friends there and just like firsthand see like the type of music the band creates and stuff. So like I'm really excited for that as well. I'm pretty sure like the wedding guests will love them. And they have performed lots of weddings before, so they definitely have experience, and I'm really excited for that. And then a couple of things that are pending right now are like the cake. I already have the quote for that. I was really excited to just like do the cake tasting, but because we're in the US and not in Puerto Rico, it's gonna be like a little bit hard to do that, but I'm hoping that we still manage to do that. I really have like this specific vision for my cake with like some flowers and stuff, and I'm really excited to just like see it come to life one day. And I really want it to be with like multiple flavors, like chocolate, vanilla, and then like a third flavor. So that's something that it's still like pending. We need to sign contracts for that and everything. And then another thing that's pending right now and that we're working on is like the wedding invitation, so that's super cool. Ooh, and then we also have pending the guest book, and we're actually doing something very different for our guest book, and it's with this company that you basically have your guests call in and you leave like voicemails, and it's just super meaningful to just like have a recording of the day of the wedding and having your important people there and just leave voice messages and voice memos to just like congratulate you on your wedding instead of just like a signature or something on a guest book. So it's like more deep and more personal to actually like in the future revisit that and listen to your loved ones' voices. So that's super cool. Pending my bridesmaid dresses and mom dresses and all that stuff. And a couple of days ago I actually created like my wedding party bridesmaid group chat, and it's just so cool to just like have all of my friends in one group chat and just like introduce them to each other, and just like in the future, in the near future, just like send them some wedding dresses ideas and colors, and just like have them figure out like which one they like, and hopefully plan like a really cool bachelorette party. And so that's like our step I really wanted to do, just like have all of my friends in one group chat, and so we finally did that. A couple of questions that you guys sent through Instagram and YouTube, and if you want you can like answer them. Will there be a video about wedding planning tips? Absolutely. I honestly have like a list of like all of my wedding planning tips already written down, and as they pop into my head I write them down, so after the wedding or a couple of days before I can film a video of all of my wedding planning tips and advice, and just like things I may regret or things that I'm happy that I did. Are you gonna get married in Puerto Rico?
Yes.
Yes, we are. We're gonna get married in Puerto Rico because all of our family is over there, and it's just easier for us to just like book a plane and get there instead of having 70 plus people like book a trip to the US to go to our wedding. Like, it's more realistic for us to go there, and it's also more meaningful to get like married and have this special ceremony. Have you planned your bachelorette party? I haven't, and that has me in stress. I'm on stress.
She wasn't even thinking about a bachelorette party until like just a couple of days ago.
I knew I wanted, and that's something that I have been wanting since forever, like wedding planning, wedding, and like a bachelorette. But I had like a reality check the other day that's like, wow, like our wedding is like in literally 5 months, and I haven't planned our bachelorette my bachelorette party, and like we have to do that. Shoot, I have to do that and just like tell my girlfriends with time, and so I'm a little bit currently in stress about that, but hopefully everything turns out like it should be. And then, have you decided on your honeymoon? If so, how did you plan it? We haven't yet, and something that we are 100% with and know is that we're probably not going to have an immediate honeymoon because we're already spending a lot of money on our wedding and make it like my dream wedding. And so maybe we have our honeymoon like to celebrate our 1 year anniversary or stuff like that, just to like get more money to like actually do
like generate
money. And I think it's gonna be like super cool to just like go on a year anniversary trip and just like have that be our honeymoon and just like do it when we're much more like stable. So yeah, not the ideal answer, of course, but we're good with it. This is what life is all about.
These are the cards that we were dealt with.
Yeah. Do you have a budget for the wedding? Yes, we do have a budget for the wedding, and I already told you that I'm going to be doing like a full like wedding budget advice video once the wedding ends. Were there any curveballs during the process? I'm going to let you answer that one. Like any curveballs during the wedding planning process?
I mean, yes and no. Curveballs, in my opinion, were like, I didn't know that people just like jacked up the prices of things just because it's like a wedding thing, for example. And this is not necessarily the case, but for example, if we were to get a cake for a birthday, it might be, let's say, a big cake, like the magnitude that we're gonna get it. Let's say it could be like $300 or $400. I don't know, something like that. And then, but if you say it's like for a wedding and it's the exact same cake, it could be like $700 or $1,000 or like, and that I wasn't expecting it in the beginning, but then it makes sense that people do that because I think it's a bit exploitive, but what could we do?
Yeah. Do you have a wedding date set? And yes, we do. We've actually had it since like when? Like April-ish?
Yeah.
I haven't really announced that yet, but I have already recorded like a video where like I say the date and stuff, and that will go up like later during the year, so like stay tuned for that. But yes, that was like one of the things that I really wanted to just like get over with and just like book, so we can have that ready and just like book all the vendors revolving around that date. So yes, we do have a wedding date, but what I can tell you is that it's in the month of March of next year, which I'm pretty sure I already like told you guys about that. But yeah, a little intermission. I changed clothes because we arrived at our destination, and I already took like some cute photos with like the dress that I was wearing at first, and then I just like changed into the sweater to take others at the pumpkin patch. But while I was at the pumpkin patch, I had another question come in which we didn't answer, and it is, are you going to have a big or small wedding?
I would say a medium-sized wedding.
You think?
Yeah, because I mean, it's not a small wedding, because a small wedding I would say is like 30 people or 20.
Yeah, I think it just varies from person to person. But yeah, I think it's like more to the medium/smaller side. But then again, my vision and like what we're doing, it's like more towards like the big, huge, like pretty weddings. So yeah, I'm hoping that answers your question. And then the other question is, where would your honeymoon be? And I've always wanted Europe, but like I already said previously in this video, like that's not gonna happen immediately after we get married. I mean, if I turn a billionaire in like 5 months, then for sure, like I will definitely have the honeymoon like the day after our wedding.
Would be nice.
That would be nice. So yeah, probably Europe. I've never been. Christian has, but he went when he was little. He doesn't remember.
I remember.
No,
everything.
I'm gonna cut this off. So that's it for this video. Please make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, so you stay up to date with like all of our wedding planning process
Shenanigans.
and progress, especially because it's getting so close. And also make sure that you follow me on Instagram to stay up to date with my day-to-day life. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.